Hey guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I have a new game to share with you. I wanted to show you guys what I've been doing this weekend when I wasn't doing Elder Scrolls Legends. I was checking out this game that showed up on my Steam feed called Star Crusader. It is a TCG, and it is free. If you search for it on Steam, you can pick it up right now. And it's actually got a very interesting twist. Now, before we get into it, I want to be 100% honest with you guys. There are a lot of reviews about this game that say it's basically Hearthstone in space. And for the most part, I'm going to confirm that. Like, you can actually see a lot of elements that are very, very similar to Hearthstone, that they just changed the names. Like, I'll show you what I mean. If you go to... Like, they instead of having something called Taunt, it's called Screen. If instead of having something called Divine Shield, it's just Shield. Like, a lot of the terms, a lot of playstyle is exactly the same as Hearthstone. You start off at 1 mana, the person that goes second gets the coin, or in this case, extra supply, and they get another card, and it plays very, very similar. Now, with that aside, it doesn't play like Hearthstone today, where what Hearthstone has become, especially with the Old Gods expansion and the way how a lot of RNG has been introduced, there's still it reminds me of Hearthstone before they even added expansions to it, which to me makes it much more reliant on just like basic solid plays, a lot less on chance, and honestly that makes it appealing on its own right. But what I think the ultimate thing that makes this interesting and what might make it worth your time is the fact that you have the system called modules. And the way how this module system works is basically when you start out with your deck, you have up to 40 cards, between 20 and 40. The more cards you have, the more health you have. But obviously, if you have less cards, you're more likely to draw those cards faster. So if you want a more aggressive, quicker deck with more reliant draws, you're going to put less cards in there. If you want to have a slower, more control deck, you're going to put more cards in there. But this really cool system called modules. And what modules are basically hero powers that you have full control over. So these are the 3 modules that we have right here. We've got Thrash, which deals 1 damage. It's the Mage Fireball. We've got Shelling, which uses a different resource called Energy, which builds up as you hit the opponent in the face or as you kill off other opponent's creatures. This one costs 8 energy, which is kind of expensive. And what it does is its next turn, at the end of the opponent's turn, 1 creature that you target takes 2 damage. This one costs 6. This lets you deal 1 damage to a friendly target unit to deal 1 damage to a commander. So these are kind of weak, but just like stop and consider this. The fact that you have the ability to modify your hero powers. So each class has specific modules that are attached to it, which are class specific, or I guess in this case race specific. Like only these guys, the Haraji, whatever, they're the only ones that can equip Thrash. If you look at the hierarchy, they're the ones that use what's basically the priest heal, nanite conversion. The Terrans, which are the humans, have Rally, which is the exact same as the Paladin's card. But you have full control over what you put in your deck and what you don't. And what happens is that, I'll show you here, if you have up to 3 cards that you can load in, right? If you choose not to put anything in your slots, instead you get a passive ability that increases your energy by 1 by the end of the turn. So if we went into battle with this deck, we would be passively generating energy every 2 turns. I mean, no, we'd be passively generating 2 energy at the end of every 1 turn, which means that, you know, once you start getting creatures on the battle and once you start like making trades and killing opponent creatures, you could potentially play whatever module you want as much as you like. And that to me is incredibly interesting. Especially, let me show you like some of the actual modules that you can get. So just check this out. These are the Anukai, which I know I'm butchering these names, but like some of these things that you can do, like Puppet Master. Check this one out. It's a passive. If you equip it, every time you destroy an enemy, it gets put into your deck. Like, that's super cool. This one, if you basically pacify, you make it so you can't attack. If you basically kind of like Silence or like Frozen. Like, so in Hearthstone, imagine if you could freeze a creature and then you could just take over any creature that you controlled. That would be amazing. And so there's lots and lots of different tactical options that open up depending on the kind of modules that you put in. So I think just based on that alone that this is a very interesting game and one that's definitely worth checking out, especially since it's free. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you like the basics that might be able to help you out. When you first start off, all you're going to have unlocked is the Terran. And in order to unlock the other races, what you have to do is hit play, and then you can hit casual, ranked, or practice. And then these decks will be locked. And then you'll select them, you'll try to play with one of these, and it'll say you cannot play with one of these unless you unlock them in any match. You hit yes, and then you'll play a match against the AI, and then you'll beat the AI, and then you'll unlock these different decks. Alright, so real quick, just to talk about this deck before I go into it. This is a hierarchy deck, and that means it's basically based around kind of value trading and then waiting out to the late game. And our hero power, which one of the modules that we've installed is called Nanite Conversion, and it's basically the priest heal. For 2 mana, or in this game, supply, we restore 2 health to any character. And then our super cool secret is this thing called Compression Algorithm. And because we're only equipping 2 modules, we're going to get 1 energy every turn just passively. As we do trades and hit the opponent in the face, we'll get more energy. And what this does is any target that we want, it will return him to the hand. It's like a sap card from the rogue. But what this will do is it'll make it so that way when they go back to the hand, it actually, instead of increasing the cost, it decreases the cost to 1. So, as I'll show you, as we play, it can actually be a really, really powerful, almost too powerful card because of its ability to... Because once you have a good presence on the board, you can generate enough energy so you can send cards back every turn, and then if the opponent doesn't have a way to take the board back on their own, you just basically win that way. So just like Hearthstone, we are starting second, so we're going to draw 1 more card and we're going to draw the coin. We're looking for... This is actually a really good curve, so I'm going to keep everything and we'll see what's going to happen. Emergency Repairs restores the target to full health and gives it +0/+1. Very powerful card. And to counter that, this is just a standard 2/3. We're going to play that guy real quick right now.
Rangers, lead the way.
This target that he's played, what this does is every time at the end of the turn, it just deals 1 damage to a random enemy character. It could be me. It could be means they put out. It's only got an attack of 1, unfortunately. And for his hero power that he has, he can either target a creature to reduce its attack permanently by 1, or he can target himself and give himself a psychic charge, which fuels some of his effects. Or he can use it, if I attack him while he has a mystic charge, it's kind of like a shield effect, where it will actually deflect the damage. So it's like a little passive shield that will absorb damage. He's also rocking Acolyte, which for 5 energy, which you can see here, he can put down a 0/1 with taunt, and then he's got Nurgle's Gift. Is that how you say it? Like the Warhammer god Nurgle? Which basically means if there's a target that has Pacifist, which means that it can't attack, that he splits the damage based on its health to enemy targets. So we're actually looking pretty good next. We've got options. He really wants to keep this thing alive for some reason. And depending on where this... Well, pretty much no matter what, we're going to be playing the Counselor. What the Counselor does is it nullifies, which in this game is Silence. It silences a friendly unit and a random random enemy unit and a random friendly unit. And we'll do this to get some initiative on board. Because it seems like he really wants to keep that thing alive for some reason, and that makes me very suspicious. So we're doing that to get some initiative back. For turn 4, this guy has mobility, which is charge. He can run forward and deal 3 damage, and then he's actually pretty solid, honestly. 3/4 on a 4 mana card's not that good, but for what we're looking at here, it's not bad, not awful. Unfortunately, let's see. So we can do something here. Let me think. So we've got basically two options here. So we can play the Syndicate Enforcer, which every time a card is played, he can deal 1 damage, and then that means that there's a 50-50 chance that when we emergency repairs and run this guy in, he'll deal 1 damage to this guy or 1 damage to the face. We can play this guy and send them both into there, which will for sure kill it, and then we'll have a 3-1 on the board. And then, you know what? Honestly, that's probably the best bet.
Move it out, move it out, move it out.
I don't want to overthink this. And then that will clear us up to be able to do something like 2, 1, 3, because we'll have 5 mana. Never mind. We need to draw another 2 mana card. Interesting. Okay. We are going to be able to keep ourselves alive. If we wanted to, we could compression algorithm and send that back to his hand. But the emergency repairs gives us a really strong option for dealing with this guy. And there's the psychic charge. So now we have to bust through like basically one charge of defense. And that's an interesting combination. But I don't think we're going to take it. So what we'll do is, to get maximum benefit, we'll heal him, and then we'll play this guy, then we'll play this guy. That way he gets the full heal effect going. Or if we wanted to, we could play the Raiders just to set up for next turn, and then use our heal effect to keep him. You know what? We'll do that. So then we'll heal this guy up to become a 3-3. We'll hit him in the face. There we go. It's still kind of sticky. And this is one of the problems I have with this game, as you can see with the presentation, is that it's very flat. Like, if you look at games like Elder Scrolls Legends, Hearthstone, even Chronicles, or the Magic the Gathering card games that come out, the board is very dynamic, and it feels 3D, and there's lots of cool stuff that you can interact with. But the problem here is that you end up having to deal with a lot. It looks very flat, and it's, while the card quality and like the mechanics are very good, it's the same kind of stuff that you'd see in Hearthstone, to be honest. So it can be kind of underwhelming. Now, let me figure out. So what he did is he gave this target Zeal, which means that it has extra attack based on how many guys we have deployed. So we're probably going to want to kill that first if we can. Or what we can do is we can just send him back with our compression algorithm. This will make, he's normally a 3 mana card, this will make him a 1 mana card, but it'll clear everything and give us the opportunity to just get rid of him. He also has Zeal. So what we want to do before we want to kill this guy first, because if we send this guy back to his hand, this guy will give him Zeal, because what impact means, he's like the wolf from Hearthstone. So we're gonna bump in here first to get rid of that guy. Or you know what we could do? We could send this guy back to the hand. This would become a 2-4. Well, no, then we can't clear stuff. So let's get you out of the way. And then let's go ahead, play this guy here. Emergency repairs this guy. Do some damage here. And then soak here, and then attack here. Oh, go ahead, go there. I missed the attack. Okay, so what this guy does, soak. He's giving he also has an impact card. He's giving everyone next to him soak 1, which means that they take 1 less damage when they attack. And there's the Cipher card, which ciphers are like secrets. So it means that as we do cards, well, he's taking damage from this effect. Every time any card is played, he's taking 1 damage. Very powerful effect. The Cipher card is a secret card, and what that means is that a certain thing has to happen for it to trigger. And if it's the Cipher card that I think it is, we're going to want to attack with something that we want to lose. Or we could just send him back. You know what? Let's do that. Let's send him back again because we have the energy. It costs 8 energy, so we'll get rid of him. We will attack with this guy. It is not the Cipher card that I thought it was. For some reason, it's being really sticky. Let's attack in here, see what happens. Nothing. Okay. This guy has Frenzy. which is give what assault. It's called assault in this game. And then I think the Cypher card that he's playing makes it so that way the first card played gets pacifist, which means that it can't attack. So if we play this on a defensive bunker, which has screen, which is taunt, yeah, it doesn't matter because it's just going to be there blocking damage anyway. So we'll heal this guy. We'll pass the turn. This 7 mana card here is called Disintegrate. It's basically Soul Siphon. You destroy a card, and then however much health it had, you get that back. And now we have a really strong presence on the board, which means if we attack face with all these guys, we're going to generate 5 energy, plus our passive ability is going to generate us 6. So, and that's if we kill anything, we get that creature's value in energy. So if we kill this guy, we're going to end up getting, we're going to get 6 energy. Really good. But, or we could just send him back to the hand. This, because it's a 0 mana cost, we don't get anything for killing him. What a lame guy. I think we honestly might just disintegrate it just to get more energy online. So
to leave the herd on.
Get rid of him. We'll disintegrate, which will give us health, clear him off the board. See, it gave us 14 energy because of how expensive it was. And we'll just keep going face. Another complaint that I'd have about this game is just the way how it sounds. As you can tell, it's making like really kind of... It doesn't have what I would consider to be like a really strong impact when it comes to sounds. So it is... I think the sound system could use a lot more work. What he did there was he played a pacify card twice, so now none of these guys can attack, unfortunately. But we do have the ability to draw lots of cards if we choose to, and I say we choose to. So what we're going to do, we're going to attack in here once, and then what we're going to do is we're going to play this Blessing of Synthis, which makes it so every time this card is healed, he draws us a card. So then from there, we're going to go ahead and do the Nanite conversion, see if we draw anything. Ooh, that's really good. That's a really big, chunky guy. Gonna get rid of him. And then we're gonna play the emergency repairs, see what comes out. And thanks to that effect, we just clear that guy off the board. And then let's just keep building up our board presence here. Oh, and then he concedes. So you can see like the cool little effects that come with the cards. That's basically how the game works. You saw how energy generation works. You saw how these different modules work. And how there's lots and lots of different combinations. Now, like I said, one of the big complaints, the sound, the way how it looks, basically this game needs a lot of polish in my opinion. But you do have a very solid game engine here. And I do think that this game has potential. It has a lot of really cool, interesting interactions and different decks that you can make because of your ability to essentially swap out your hero powers. Just for further coverage, it does feature 6 different races, which play just like Hearthstone, where you've got a big pool of neutrals, and then you've got class-specific cards as well as class-specific modules. You do have modules that are available to everybody, but these kind of, for the most part, they kind of suck. Like, a lot of these only take effect during your opponent's turn, so, like, it's very easy for your opponent to play around them. The more powerful modules are usually going to be the class-specific ones. It like I said, it does feature a draft mode in Raid, which I will be checking out in a future video. But yeah, I think you guys, if you like Hearthstone and you're looking for more of like an older version of Hearthstone, the way how it was before, if you're really big into deck crafting and coming up with different ideas, and if you just like space games and space strategy games and a space card game, you know, this could have a lot of potential. I have been enjoying it a lot, and so I thought I would share it with you guys and see what you think. But either way, thank you for watching. I hope this has been informative, fun, and most importantly, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you later.